Hello everybody, myself Prashant Mukhopadhyay, faculty member Electrical Engineering Department, Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management. So in our power electronics and drive class, so far of unit 3, we have discussed single phase fully controlled half wave converter with resistive load, with resistive inductive load, single phase fully controlled full wave converters with resistive load, with RL load, and also we have discussed three phase fully controlled bridge converter with RL load. So in the last class we have discussed this portion, that is three phase fully controlled bridge converter. Today actually we'll start another topic of this unit 3, that is cycloconverters. So particularly this cycloconverter topic includes in your syllabus, that is the principle of operation of single phase and three phase cycloconverter, basic circuit diagram, input and output waveforms. So we'll start with cycloconverter, its introduction, and then principle of operation, first of all at single phase and the different aspects of single phase circuit diagram, waveforms, etc. Then we'll discuss the three phase cycloconverter. Cycloconverter actually has been traditionally used only in a very high power drives, usually above 1 megawatt. Where no other type of drive can be used. For example, cement tube mill drives above 5 megawatt, the 13 megawatt German Dutch tunnel fan drive, reversible rolling mill drives, and ship propulsion drives. So the reasons for this are that the traditional cycloconverter requires a large number of thyristors, at least 36, and usually more for good motor performance, together with a very complex control circuit. And it has some performance limitations, the worst of which is an output frequency limited to about one-third the input frequency. So basically, traditionally it is used for very high power drives, and this is actually a block diagram cycle converter, single phase to single phase cycle converter. This is the input and this is the output. This cycloconverter actually has here four thyristors divided into a positive and negative bank of two thyristors each. So each positive current flows in the load. The output voltage is controlled by phase control of the two positive bank thyristors, while the negative bank thyristors are kept off, and vice versa. When negative current flows in the load, basically. So an idealized output waveform for a sinusoidal load current and at a 45-degree load phase angle is shown in figure here actually. So it is important to keep the non-conducting thyristor bank at all times off. Otherwise, the mains could be sorted via the two thyristor bank and resulting waveform distortion and possible device failure from the sorting current. A major control problem of the cycloconverter is how to swap between banks in the shortest possible time to avoid distortion, whilst ensuring two banks do not conduct at the same time. A common addition to the power circuit that remove the requirement to keep one bank off is to place a center tapped inductor called the circulating current inductor between the outputs of two banks, and both banks can now conduct together without sorting the mains. And also the circulating current in the inductor keeps both banks operating at all times, resulting in improved output waveforms. So this technique is not often used, particularly because the circulating current inductor tends to be expensive and bulky, and the circulating current reduces the power factor on the input. So in a single phase cycle converter, basically the output frequency is less than the supply frequency. So these converters require natural competition, which is provided by AC supply. And during positive half cycle of the supply, thyristors P1 and N2 are forward biased. First triggering pulse is applied to P1 and hence it starts conducting. And as the supply goes negative, P1 gets off and in negative half cycle of supply, P2 and N1 are forward biased. P2 is triggered, hence it's conduct. In the next cycle of supply, N2 is positive half cycle, and N1 is in negative half cycles are triggered, because we can observe that here the output frequency is of half of the supply frequency. So mainly that is shown here. See, this is the circuit diagram, and this is the waveform. Okay, so how it is operates particularly. The operation principle is like this. Single phase to single phase, that is this is the operation principle of single phase to single phase cycle converter. Single phase to single phase, actually to understand that principles of this cycle converter, the single phase to single phase cycle converter that is shown here. This is single phase to single phase. This is single phase supply and single phase output will also be single phase. Single phase to single phase cycle converter actually so converter consists of back-to-back common two polar rectifier circuits. These are the back-to-back rectifier circuits. Full wave actually. This is full wave bridge converter. This is the full wave. Okay, back-to-back connections are there. So this trigger for 3.16 was the operating waveforms for this converter with a resistive load, basically. This one. Supply. This is average voltage per phase. This is half cycle of base, and this is negative half cycle. Okay. So this is like this here. And this is alpha. This is alpha equal to 0, and this is for alpha equal to 60 degree. Okay. And by varying line for different pulses, something like this. Okay. So actually, if we consider the operation of the cycle converter to get 1/4 of the input frequency for zero firing angle, that is the thyristor sector like that. Firing angles are named as alpha P for the positive converter and alpha N for the negative converter. It is shown here. This is alpha P, this is alpha N. Alpha P 0, alpha N 0 for negative converter. That is for if it is positive, then it is negative converter. Okay, so actually input voltage Vs is an AC voltage at frequency input frequency A5, that is shown here. Okay, this is input voltage at a frequency of A5, input frequency A5. So now actually but we can consider the figure 3.13 for simply understanding and assuming all that thyristors are fired at alpha equal to 0, delay angle equal to 0 degree. Yeah. Okay. So this will be like, this is for positive average voltage per half cycles. This one. This is positive half. This is for negative half. Alpha P for positive converters. This is alpha n equal to 0 for negative converters. Okay. It's in this. So now consider the operations of this cycloconverter to get 1/4 of the input frequency at the output. For the first two cycles of input supply voltage Vs, the positive converter operates supplying current to the load, and it rectifies the input voltage. Therefore, the load sees 4 positive half cycles here. Okay, this is 1, this is 2, 3, this is for 4 positive half cycles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for the negative half cycles. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the positives, and these are for the negatives. Okay. So actually, so 4 positive half cycles will be generated. That is that I have shown you. Next 2 cycles, the negative converter operates supplying current to the load in the reverse direction. The current waveforms are not shown actually basically here because the resistive load current will have the same waveforms as the voltage, but only the scale will be just decreased by the resistance. So not that when one of the converters operates, the other one is visible, so that there is no current circulating between the 2 rectifiers. Okay, so this is the case. This is for alpha equal to 0 varying angle. This is for alpha equal to 60 degree, and this is for alpha varying for different pulses. Okay, like this here. So that's all about this single phase to single phase cycloconverter at a different delay angle. We have seen the diagram. Okay. Now, if we discuss about a single phase midpoint cycloconverters, basically these are divided into 2 main types and are given as like this: step down cycloconverters and step up cycloconverter. The step down acts like a step down transformer that provides the output frequency less than that of the input frequency, that is, the output frequency is F0 is less than F5. And step up cycloconverters, it provides the output frequency more than that of the input, that is F0 or F output greater than F input or F5. So in case of step down cycloconverter, the output frequency is limited to a fraction of input frequency. Typically it is below 20 Hz in case of 50 Hz supply frequency. And in this case, no separate commutation circuits are needed as SCRs and line commutator devices. But in case of step-up cycloconverter, forced commutation circuits are needed to turn off SCRs at desired frequency. And such circuits are relatively very complex. Therefore, the majority of cycloconverters are of step-down types, and that lowers the frequency than input frequency. So because of the complex turn-up procedures of the step-up cycloconverters, cycloconverters are mostly used as a step-down, where the natural commutation techniques can be used because the input frequency of the cycloconverter is 50 Hz and the output should be in between 20. Mostly it is below 20 Hz. So that's why the most of the applications are of say step down type. See, this is a midpoint cycloconverter circuit that I was telling you earlier. So this is P1 positive thyristor. This is negative thyristor for bank 1. This is bank 2. Okay, so basically this is the case. Okay. This is the voltage, uh, input voltage, and this is input and output waveforms like this. Okay. So this is for the midpoint filter. So it basically this consists of a single phase transformer with mid tap on the secondary windings and four thyristors. Two of these thyristors P1 and P2 are for positive group, and the other two N1 and N2 are negative group. Load is connected between secondary windings midpoint the zero and the load terminals, and positive direction for output voltage and the output currents are marked in this figure. This is positive current. This is negative. Okay. So basically, this is the case. Clear? And this is the operation cycle of four thyristors. T1, T4, T1, T4, T2, T3, T2, T3 are negative. Okay, so this is our input and output waveforms of the midpoint cycle converters, and this is the circuit that we have a midpoint cycle converter. Once again, I am repeating the circuit diagram for midpoint cycle converter. This is the midpoint cycle converter. This is actually supply voltage waveform, and this is actually input and output waveforms for the midpoint cycle converters. So once again, I am repeating this cycle converter. It consists of a single phase transformer with mid tap on the secondary windings and four thyristors. So you see here, this is a transformer. This secondary winding is leading to mid, and this is the four thyristors consisting this circuit, and this is the load, RL load. Okay, now how it operates? Basically, two of the thyristors P1 and P2 for positive groups, and other two thyristors N1 and N2 are for the negative groups. It is here. This P1 and P2 for positive, and N1 and N2 for negative groups. Okay. Now, load is connected between secondary winding midpoint 0 or O and the load terminals, and it is the basically load connected between this. This is load. Okay, and positive direction for the output voltage and output current are marked in this figure also. Okay, this is the positive voltage for this first step. This is the for second up in the midpoint. So that is, this is positive. So negative voltage will be marked in this way. Okay. So actually, this is the current. Positive current. Clear. So basically, load current actually. So during positive half cycle of the supply voltage, terminal supply voltage terminal is positive with respect to terminal B. Here it is. A is positive with respect to terminal B. This is B. Okay. So terminal A is positive and terminal B is negative. Therefore, in the positive half cycle, both P1 and N2 are forward biased from omega t equal to 0 to 5 actually. This one is for positive half cycle. This is for forward bias, and this N2 is also forward bias. The current will be like this. Okay. So okay. So now, so this is actually from omega t equal to 0 to 5. This one from this point supply. Okay. So in that case, this will be output. Clear? And As HCl P1 is turned on at omega t equal to 0, so that the load voltage is positive with terminal A and O is negative. Now the load voltage is positive. So at instant T1, P1 is force compensated and the forward biased thyristor N2 is turned on, so that the load voltage is negative with respect to terminal 0 and A is negative. So now that the load voltage is negative, so now N2 is force compensated and P1 is turned on and the load voltage is positive. This is a continuous process and we'll get a step up cycloconverter output. So this will be like this. Okay. Like this. Clear? And this is the operation cycle. Okay. This is for T1, this is for T4. Actually, if we say this is T1, T2, T3, then this is T4. Okay. So that is actually T1 means P1 and T2, T4 means N2. Okay. Like this. T1, T2, this is T3, this is T4. Here, this is the cycle. Okay. So in this way, the process will continue, and the mid point cycle converter will run in this way as a step-up cycle converter. Okay. Now we'll discuss about the bridge configuration of a single-phase cycle converter. So the equivalent circuit of a cycle converter is shown here. This is the equivalent circuit. This is the positive converter. This is the negative converter. This is the AC load. This is the input to the say positive, and this is for input to, this is IP, this is IN, okay, current, and this is the load current. Okay, so positive converter current, this is negative converter current, and this is actually your load current. Okay, and this is control circuit. Clear? Like this. Okay. So this is block diagram of the bridge type cycle converter. So basically, here each two quadrant phase control converter is represented by a voltage source of desired frequency, and consider that the output power is generated by alternating current and voltage at a desired frequency. So the diodes connected in series with each voltage source represented the unidirectional conduction of each two quadrant converter. If the output voltage ripples of each converters are neglected, then it becomes ideal and represents the desired output voltage. Okay, so this is the problem of this. So if the firing angles of the individual converters are modulated continuously, each converter provides the same sinusoidal voltage at its output terminals. So the voltages produced by these two converters have same phase, voltage and frequency, and the average power produced by the cycle converter can flow either to or from the output terminals to the as the load current can flow freely to and from the load to the positive and negative converters. So therefore it is possible to operate the loads of any phase angle or power factors inductive or capacitive to the cycle converter circuit. So due to the unidirectional property of the load current for each converter, it is obvious that positive converter carries positive half cycle of load current, while the negative converters remaining and idle during this period. Similarly, negative converter carries the negative half cycles of the load current, with positive converter remaining and idle during this period. So regardless of the phase current with respect to the voltage. So this means that each converter operates both in rectifying and inverting regions during the period of its associated half cycles. So this is the figure shows the ideal output current and voltage waveform from the cycloconverter for lagging and leading power factor loads, and the conduction periods of positive and negative converters also given in this figure. Yeah. So this is the output voltage, this is the current, this is say negative converter in inverter mode, positive converter in rectification mode. Then this is the duration, the positive converters in the inversion mode and negative converter in the rectification mode. So actually this is another case. Okay, so this is the output current, this is output voltage. So here it is positive converter in rectification mode and the negative converter in the inversion mode, then negative converter in the rectification mode, then positive converter in the inversion mode. So this is actually different. Okay. So the positive converter operates whenever the load current is positive, negative converter remaining idle. In the same manner, negative converter operates for the negative half cycles of the load current. And both rectification and inversion modes of each converter are shown here. This is the cycle in the cycle converter waveform. So this desired output voltage is produced by regulating the firing angles to individual converters. Now single phase to single phase cycle converters, these are rarely used in practice. However, these are required to understand the fundamental principles of the cycle converters. So it consists of two full wave fully controlled bridge thyristors, with each bridge having 4 thyristors, and each bridge is connected in opposite back-to-back directions. That is such that the both positive and the negative voltages can be obtained, as this is shown here. So this is the positive bridge, this is positive bridge, this is negative bridge, bridge 1 and bridge 2. This is single phase supply. This is actually in current, say this is negative bridge in inversion, this is negative bridge in the rectification, this is positive in inversion. So in this way, so this is the circuit diagram. Basically, this is the output current of the positive bridge, this is the negative bridge, and this is the load current. Okay. So during actually it consists of as I told you, the two back-to-back fully controlled phase converters, single phase, and so both these bridges are excited by the single phase 50 Hz AC supply. And during positive half cycles of the input voltage, positive converter to this bridge 1 is turned on and it supplies the load current. And during negative half cycles of the input, negative bridge is turned on and it supplies load current. So both converters should not conduct together, that cause short circuit at the input. So to avoid this triggering of the thyristors of the bridge 2 is inhibited during positive half cycles of the load current, and while the triggering is applied to the thyristors of the bridge 1 and at their gates, and during negative half cycle of the load current triggering, the positive bridge is inhibited and applying triggering at the negative bridge. So by controlling the switching period of the thyristors, time periods of both positive and negative half cycles are changed, and hence the frequency, and this frequency of fundamental output voltage can be easily reduced in steps, that is half, 1/3, 1/4, and so on. So this is like this. So average voltage per pulse. This is half cycle of the supply voltage when delay angle is 0 for the positive bridge, and this is for negative. Okay. So this is actually for 60 degree. Okay. Delay angle for positive bridge, and this is for negative bridge. So these are the waveforms. This is positive bridge, and this is for negative. This is positive, this is negative. And this is alpha varying for different pulse, that is shown. This is the output. So actually input and output waveforms of the digital cyclone, that is we have discussed earlier also. So this figure shows the output waveforms of the cycle converter that produces 1/4 of the input frequency. And here for the first 2 cycles, the positive converter operates in the suppress current to the load, and it rectifies the input voltage and produce unidirectional output produce, as we can observe, 4 positive half cycles in the figure, and during the next 2 cycles the negative converter was supply load current. So current waveforms are the next one. So that I told you earlier also, because of the same type. One converter is disabled if another one operates, so there is no subunity between the two converters. And since the discontinuous mode of control scheme is complicated, most circuit controllers are used in the step-down way. So operates in the circuiting mode where continuous current is allowed to flow between the converters with the reactor. So the separating type of cycle converter can be operated on with both purely resistive and inductive oil loads. So that's all about this single phase type cycle converter, its operation and its circuit diagram, its waveforms. Okay, center midpoint type and bridge type cycle converter has been discussed. I think this will clear your concept about the single phase cycle converter, its circuit operations, etc. And if you have any difficulty after studying this, you will contact me. So we will discuss. Okay, thank you.